As a parent, what is the worst fear that you could possibly imagine? Being a mother to young, naive girls, my worst fear is my child being kidnapped or lured and sold for human trafficking. My girls have such a sweet, innocent heart, and they see the good in everything. It breaks my heart that this is such a significant issue in our society. In 2012, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime reports the percentage of child victims had risen in a 3-year span from 20% to 27%. Of every 3 child victims, 2 are girls and 1 is boy. According to statistics compiled by Ark of Hope for Children, the numbers 600,000 to 800,000 women, children, and men bought and sold across internal borders every year are exploited for forced labor or commercial sex, according to the U.S. government. When internal trafficking victims are added to the estimates, the number of victims annually is in the range of 2 to 4 million. 50% of those victims are estimated to be children. It is estimated that 76% of transactions for sex with underage girls start on the internet. 2 million children are subjected to prostitution in the global commercial sex trade, according to UNICEF. There are 20.9 million victims of trafficking worldwide as of 2012. 1.5 million victims in the United States. The impact. Human trafficking will surpass the illegal sale of drugs in the next few years. Drugs are used once and they are gone. Victims of child trafficking can be abused over and over. A $32 billion a year industry, human trafficking is on the rise and is in all 50 states, according to the U.S. government. 4.5 million of trafficked persons are sexually exploited. Up to 300,000 Americans under 18 are lured into the commercial sex trade every year. From 14,500 to 17,500 of those victims are trafficked in the United States each year. Sex traffickers target children because of their vulnerability and naivety. The average age of entry into prostitution is 12 to 14 years old, and traffickers are known to recruit at schools, malls, and through social media. Recruitment takes many forms. Kidnapping, solicitation by other women or girls recruiting on behalf of the sex trafficker, the boyfriend approach of appearing romantically interested while slowly coercing them into prostitution, and even the daddy form, where men promise to care for and be a daddy to girls who long for protection and provision. As a parent myself, my own heart begs the question, what can I do? Here are some things that you can do to help prevent your child from being lured away by a trafficker. 1. Set a high standard of love within the home. The way you define and express love shapes your children's self-image. Confidence in opinions of future relationships. Treat them the way you want their future spouse to treat them. Help them to distinguish between real love and empty promises or cheap gifts. 2. Talk to your children about sexual abuse. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, every 2 minutes someone in the U.S. is sexually assaulted, of which 29% are ages 12 to 17. Let your children know that if anyone has or ever does hurt them, they can talk to you. This is the most important thing you can say. Don't assume they have not been hurt by sexual violence before. Leave the door open for your child to talk about past circumstances that they haven't shared with you. 3. Talk to your children about sex trafficking. Discuss ways children and teens are targeted for sex trafficking. Let them know that traffickers specifically try to woo young girls and boys with promises of a better life, whether it's promises of love and attention or promises of nice things and trips. Traffickers look for ways of exploiting dreams. Traffickers can be male or female, even classmates. Traffickers may even use kids to recruit other kids. 4. Talk to your children about the dangers of social media. It's important to provide practical safety tips like don't share your personal information on the internet. Don't accept Facebook requests from unknown people. Never share naked photos of yourself with anyone. And tell a parent or a trusted adult if you feel threatened or uncomfortable online. Also, children need help in defining friendships. Social media has distorted our children's understanding of what friendship means. Teach them that a friend is not someone you met yesterday, that a friend on Facebook is not the same thing as a friendship. Pay attention to your children. Monitor your children's social media accounts. Look for ways to meet their friends' parents, and those they hang out with. Be alert of boyfriends who are much older or friendships that tend to isolate your child from other friends or family. Notice if your child has new clothing items, makeup products, cell phone, or other items and inquire about how they acquire them. And 6. Invite your kids to pray for those enslaved. Sexual assault and trafficking can be fearful or overwhelming subject for children. Invite them to take action by praying for those who are enslaved. This allows for children to acknowledge the suffering of young people who have been trafficked while placing hope in God, who desires freedom for the oppressed.